name's Stephen Warsh. I graduated from Concordia University, a master's degree using virtual reality for pain relief. I've started a startup using it for rehab and making it more fun and engaging. And with Zoe, I used the program to basically create a first aid and CPR prototype to showcase how we could use virtual reality for training purposes, specifically scenarios that are very tough to model in the lab where I was teaching at the time. So bleeding and CPR, things that we can't really mimic very easily, we could actually do in virtual reality. The department I was in, I was the first to get a headset. I was the first to introduce it to many of the colleagues at the university. There are a few labs and departments that are using virtual reality, some of the computer science and programming, but it's definitely not implemented at a big scale at Concordia, at least in the health and exercise science department that I was in. It's a great question. I think it's actually probably the part that virtual reality could stand out the most, which is why I think it will succeed long term. The training that's already been happening, and really my goal was when I was in the labs with students, and even when I was a student myself, because I went to Concordia as well, I always felt that I couldn't really get into the scene. We were pretending somebody was dying. We were pretending somebody broke their leg. The advanced care, they had fake Halloween blood, which was shooting, which was good, but it still isn't the same as being able to replicate mass casualties or really actually learning how to do things. And I think so that really just that and being able to do many different scenarios. And in the short term, it's expensive, but long term saves you a fortune because once you've created it and you can use it every year where education systems really can benefit from that. That's what we're seeing in some of the schools, especially in America, where they create it once. It does cost, a significant amount. It's not cheap, but then forever they don't have to pay for that. So there's a lot of really great advantages to virtual reality that you can't really get with just traditional lab-based learning. One of the things I really was striving for in my prototype was I wanted to make it more of a story, more immersive. So really, when you get into the scene right away, you're at the Miami Heat basketball stadium. So you're just kind of immersed in this basketball experience. You shoot the ball, and then after you score, you have what I tried to portray as a heart attack. So it goes red, you pass out, and then the next scene loads. I find that most of the trainings in CPR, first aid, or just other fields and other sectors as a whole, they're very course based. You do this, move on, do this, move on, do this, move on. I really want to try to make it more of a story. Ideally, you would have that scene, the person would have a heart attack, and then they would save the person's life if they were advanced. So someone like me who knows how to do it, it's an exam, and you basically just would go right into it and save the life. Or if you're a beginner and you want to learn, then you get that course module based thing where you learn along the way, and then you take that final exam to save the life and to do the CPR and the bleed management. Um, so yeah, really something more of like a story, more engaging. Yeah, I think when I started all of this, it was really I don't have a software development background at all. This year, less than a year, I would say, I've basically self-taught myself through YouTube University, and Zoe was really one of those ways that I kind of got exposed to what it was and how it was a little bit of a easier way to kind of learn how to do Unity and how to learn how to make a prefab or make these different things. And so through Zoe, I've learned so much that I was able to do more and able to do more quickly, especially. So when I started, I had no plan to do anything with this because I didn't think it was going to be very good. I thought I might get one scene and I would be happy. But yeah, now in my spare time, I still am developing my own prototype for my startup. So Unity before Zoe was overwhelming, to say the least. There's like basic things and samples that kind of make it a little easier, but then once you start doing anything related to VR, it basically just crashes and burns immediately. So the thing that was really nice with with Zoe was that it kind of told me what I could and couldn't do, and it didn't crash and burn. Which, as much as that's a joke, it is very serious. I basically was able to kind of take these pieces that I fundamentally worked because it was built into the coding, I guess. I'm not that well versed in exactly what happens, but so yeah, so it was much more intuitive. That's the word I was looking for. So you could kind of drop and drag and put things in, which stopped things from breaking. Now that I'm back after Zoe, I've realized how much I've learned from using Zoe of what it showed me that you could do. I had floaties on. I wasn't gonna sink. Nothing was happening. I wasn't sinking and under the water and drowning. Zoe helped me make sure that I wasn't like just completely lost in the middle of the ocean. That's the ocean of unity. Yeah, one of the things that I had hoped to make pretty and nice was the tweezers. So I did a part of the scene was putting the steri strips, basically like stitches, but they're non-permanent, onto the skin, and we typically do that with tweezers because we have gloves on and it sticks to the gloves. So by having something that was a bit more of the shape of a tweezer, it has a push button. It really adds that haptics, which kind of is a nice segue from the last part of the conversation, where we have that kind of feel of using something. So it was much more an immersive way to engage people. I think it really is gonna depend on how smoothly it integrates. So the with Zoe and the plugin, it integrated very well. It was easy to switch to, and it was just kind of a no-brainer. My motto with virtual reality typically is there's already so much of a learning curve of like controllers, headset boundaries that I try to reduce the chances for things going wrong of adding more things, but the pen is pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So I do think that styluses and pens have a place. It really depends probably also on the sector as well. Like I think in education, if you want to write in VR and you don't want them taking off their headsets, I think it's kind of essential because writing with a controller just isn't going to really feel like you're writing. Funny enough, YouTube is a great place to start. There's a lot of amazing resources and people that have posted and shared ways of going about it. AI is fantastic now. Take a screenshot and be like, "Hey, what is this? I don't understand it." But I think programs, like Zoe and other programs that are out there to actually teach you, I think they're really great to kind of be a starting place. You want to be at the forefront of this. I do think this is something that is going to be coming everywhere. It already has started. But if you are interested in building software, there's really no risk. It's really cool. And, things like Zoe make it really easy to just kind of drag and drop and say what you want to do and just make it happen. So I think I always say, why not? It's like a multiple choice question. I never understood why people left it empty.